My wife, let's call her Sarah, and I had been married for 7 years. We met in college, clicked instantly, and built what I thought was a solid life together. We had a house, 2 kids, and everything seemed perfect. Or at least that's what I thought. I also had a best friend, Mike, who I'd known since high school. Mike was practically family. He was there for me through everything, breakups, my dad's passing, even helped me propose to Sarah. I trusted him completely. Sarah and Mike got along, well, maybe a little too well at times, but I never suspected anything. I mean, Mike was like a brother to me. Why would I? Then came the day everything fell apart. It started innocently enough. Sarah's behavior began to change. She became distant, spent more time on her phone, and suddenly had late work meetings that didn't seem to add up. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured work was just getting to her. But then one night, she left her phone out while she was in the shower, and I saw a message pop up from Mike. My stomach sank, and I couldn't help myself. I opened the message. It was flirty, really flirty, and not in a we're just joking kind of way. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through their conversation. There were texts, pictures, plans to meet up. They had been seeing each other behind my back for months. I felt like my whole world collapsed in that moment. My wife, my best friend, the 2 people I trusted most had been lying to me, betraying me, and carrying on this disgusting affair while I was working late nights and taking care of our kids. I wanted to confront them right away, to scream and throw things, but I stopped myself. I needed a plan, something that would hit them both where it hurt, something that would make them regret ever crossing me. I spent the next few days in quiet rage, gathering evidence. I took screenshots of all the texts, recorded their calls, and even followed them one night when they met up at a hotel. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, watching them walk into that room together, knowing what was about to happen. But I knew if I wanted revenge, I had to play it smart. My first step was securing my assets. I met with a lawyer the very next day. I told him everything and started moving money from our joint accounts into an account only I could access. I also changed the beneficiaries on my life insurance and will, removing Sarah entirely. I wasn't going to leave her with a single penny when this was over. Next, I contacted Mike's girlfriend, Jessica. They had been together for a few years, and while we weren't super close, I felt like she deserved to know what was going on. I sent her all the evidence I had collected. She was devastated. We met up for coffee to talk, and it became clear that we were both in the same boat, betrayed by the people we loved most. Jessica and I decided to team up. We didn't just want to confront them, we wanted to humiliate them, so we waited for the perfect moment. That moment came a few weeks later, Mike's birthday party. He had invited a bunch of friends over for a big celebration, including Sarah and me. Jessica and I coordinated everything down to the minute. We arrived separately but met up outside before going in. Inside the house, everyone was having a good time, drinking, laughing, and totally unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Mike made some speech about how grateful he was for everyone in his life, especially his best friend, me, and his rock, Jessica. I could feel the anger boiling up inside me, but I held it together, waiting for my moment. After he finished, I stood up and said I had something to add. Everyone turned to look at me, including Mike and Sarah, who were sitting next to each other on the couch, smiling like nothing was wrong. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the Bluetooth speaker, and hit play. The room went dead silent as their texts, photos, and call recordings played over the speakers for everyone to hear. Sarah's face went pale, and Mike just sat there stunned as the truth unfolded in front of everyone. The looks on their faces were priceless shock, fear, and then shame. Jessica stood up next to me and calmly said, "Mike, we're done. I hope it was worth it." She walked out and I followed. As we left, I could hear the whispers and gasps from the crowd. Their perfect little world had just come crashing down. But I wasn't done yet. After the party, I filed for divorce, citing infidelity. Sarah tried to apologize, saying it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything, but I was done. I moved out, taking the kids with me, and she was left with nothing. The house, mine. The cars, mine. She had no access to the money I had moved, and my lawyer made sure she wouldn't get much in the divorce settlement either. Mike didn't fare much better. Word got out about the affair, and he lost most of his friends. Jessica moved on, and from what I've heard, he's been living in a cheap apartment, trying to piece his life back together. Good luck with that, buddy. As for Sarah, she's still trying to get back on her feet, but that's not my problem anymore. I've moved on, focusing on my kids and rebuilding my life without her. And honestly, I feel a lot better knowing that they'll never forget the day their betrayal blew up in their faces. I never wanted things to end like this, but sometimes people get what they deserve.